了，越来越多外面人来买纸。
来，坐。
我们过来拿银子，我们来。
银子啦！
跪下！刘金喜，你认不认？你认不认？你们吵什么？不许吵！你还说你不是唐龙？
The story begins in a quiet rural village in early 20th century China, where Liu Jinxi lives a simple life with his family. He works as a papermaker, spending long hours pressing and drying sheets of handmade paper to support his wife and 2 children. To the villagers, Jinxi is nothing more than a polite and hardworking craftsman. But the calm doesn't last. One afternoon, while Jinxi is buying supplies at a small general store, 2 robbers walk in and attempt to rob it. When the shopkeeper refuses, the situation escalates fast. The criminals turn aggressive, beating up the clerk and anyone else inside. Jinxi steps in to protect the storekeeper. The struggle ends up with Jinxi killing both men. News of the incident quickly reaches Baijiu, a sharp, methodical detective and former coroner known for his disciplined forensic approach. When he examines the bodies, he immediately notices something unusual. One of the dead men is Yan Dongsheng, a high-profile fugitive on the government's top 10 wanted list. The local magistrate praises Jinxi as a hero, and the villagers celebrate his bravery. But Baijiu is not convinced. The wounds on the robbers are too precise and delivered with too much control for an ordinary villager. He also notes that Yan's death, specifically the brain hemorrhage caused by trauma to the vagus nerve, couldn't have happened by accident. From these findings, Baijiu begins to suspect that Liu Jinxi is hiding far more than a humble past, and that beneath the calm exterior lies someone with exceptional martial skill and a violent history he's trying to bury. As Baijiu continues his investigation, Jinxi's quiet life starts to come under pressure. The villagers become uneasy, and Jinxi's wife senses a heaviness in her husband but avoids digging into the past she has long chosen not to question. Jinxi, trapped between his new life and his old identity, struggles to keep everything from collapsing. The detective begins digging deeper into the case and eventually uncovers Jinxi's true identity. Jinxi is actually Tang Long, the former second-in-command of the 72 Demons, a violent and notorious group feared across the region. When the detective questions him, Jinxi admits that the past the detective suspects is true, but insists he abandoned that life long ago and has fully reformed. The detective, who firmly believes that people never truly change, refuses to accept his explanation. One morning, he decides to test Jinxi's supposed martial arts ability by pushing him off a bridge. Jinxi shows no signs of any training, he simply plunges into the waterfall and struggles until fellow villagers pull him out. Later, Jinxi offers to walk with the detective as he heads alone through the dense forest. The detective grows uneasy, convinced Jinxi plans to kill him in retaliation. But Jinxi lets the moment pass, especially after the detective promises he will never return to the village. Despite that promise, the detective immediately heads back to the county office to secure an arrest warrant for Tang Long. The magistrate delays the process, claiming the evidence is insufficient, while secretly waiting for a bribe. The detective eventually gathers the bribe money from his estranged wife, who still resents him for her father's suicide. Years earlier, the detective attempted to prosecute her father for selling unauthorized medicine, and instead of facing imprisonment, the man took his own life. After receiving the payment, the magistrate finally issues the warrant, then secretly informs the master of the 72 demons about Tang Long's location, hoping to earn a reward. The master erupts in anger when he learns that Jinxi is actually his son. Furious at the perceived betrayal, he kills the magistrate, accusing him of corruption and of setting him up to murder his own flesh and blood. He then sends his followers to Jinxi village with orders to capture Jinxi and destroy the entire settlement. As the detective and his constables make their way toward the village, the master's henchmen arrive first, among them Jinxi's stepmother.
跪下！刘金喜，你认不认？你认不认？
When Jinxi refuses to reveal his true identity, she responds by killing one of the village elders, forcing him to act. Jinxi quickly dispatches two attackers with precise, controlled kung fu strikes, then chooses to flee into the countryside. But the master's wife pursues him relentlessly, chasing him into a buffalo shed. She gets caught up in a buffalo stampede, sweeping her toward the riverbank. Jinxi tries to pull her to safety, but she refuses his help, insisting that he never stopped being the 72 demons' second-in-command and her husband's favored son. She slips from his grasp and falls to her death. Realizing that more danger is approaching, the villagers retreat to a nearby fortress for protection. Meanwhile, the detective's deputy refuses to intervene, preferring to let Jinxi and the 72 demons destroy each other. After hearing this, the detective reconsiders his stance. Determined to protect Jinxi, he uses his medical expertise to devise a plan. They will fake Jinxi's death to mislead the 72 demons and buy him enough time to escape. The plan works at first, but the deception drags on too long, forcing the detective to revive Jinxi in front of the assembled members of the group who have come to honor their fallen comrade. Jinxi suddenly regains consciousness and immediately realizes that his former allies have surrounded him, fully prepared to take him back to his father. To prove he has severed all ties with the clan, Jinxi cuts off his own left arm. The group leader accepts his decision but insists he must face the master, who waits at Jinxi's home. When Jinxi arrives, he finds the master holding his family hostage during a tense and silent dinner. The master tells Jinxi that he may leave the 72 demons, but only if his young son takes his place. Enraged, Jinxi attacks him with a broadsword. Though Jinxi is a skilled martial artist, he can't match his father while fighting one-handed. Meanwhile, the detective slips into the house through a hidden hatch beneath the floor. Even weakened, the master still overpowers the detective and regains control of the fight. Just as the master moves in for the kill, the detective summons his last strength and drives another acupuncture needle into the master's neck. A sudden lightning strike hits the house, and the needles act as conductors, electrocuting the master instantly. With his final breath, the detective declares the case closed. Weeks later, Jinxi returns to his family and resumes his quiet life, determined to leave his past behind for good. Subscribe for more dramas like this, and don't forget to like this video, it really helps the channel grow.